Introduction to cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment, whereby inferences about other people and situations may be drawn in an illogical fashion. These biases shape how we perceive and interpret reality, influencing our decisions and beliefs. Understanding cognitive biases helps reveal how our mental shortcuts and heuristic-driven thinking can alter our perception of the world. The nature of cognitive biases. Cognitive biases arise from the brain's attempt to simplify information processing and decision-making. Rather than engaging in detailed, rational analysis, the brain often relies on shortcuts or heuristics to make judgments quickly. While these shortcuts can be efficient, they can also lead to distorted perceptions and errors in judgment. Confirmation bias. One of the most common cognitive biases is confirmation bias, where individuals tend to seek out, interpret, and remember information that confirms their pre-existing beliefs. This bias leads to skewed perceptions of reality, as people often overlook or dismiss evidence that contradicts their views. Confirmation bias can reinforce stereotypes and hinder objective evaluation of information. Anchoring bias occurs when individuals rely too heavily on an initial piece of information, the anchor, when making decisions. For instance, if a person is first exposed to a high price for an item, they might perceive subsequent prices as more reasonable, even if they are still high. This bias can shape perceptions and judgments by anchoring them to irrelevant or arbitrary information. Availability heuristic. The availability heuristic involves assessing the likelihood of events based on how easily examples come to mind. Events that are more memorable or recent are often perceived as more frequent or likely. For example, after seeing news reports about plane crashes, people might overestimate the dangers of flying, despite statistical evidence showing that air travel is relatively safe. Self-serving bias. Self-serving bias is the tendency to attribute positive outcomes to one's own actions and negative outcomes to external factors. This bias shapes how we perceive our own behavior and performance. For example, if someone succeeds in a project, they might attribute it to their hard work, but if they fail, they might blame external circumstances. This bias affects self-esteem and self-perception. Hindsight bias. Hindsight bias involves the tendency to see events as having been predictable after they have occurred. People often believe that they knew it all along, after learning the outcome of an event. This bias can distort our perception of past events and decisions, leading to an oversimplified understanding of causality and forecasting abilities. Impact on decision-making. Cognitive biases significantly influence decision-making processes, leading to judgments that may not be fully rational or objective. These biases can result in systematic errors, such as overconfidence, poor risk assessment, and suboptimal choices. Understanding biases helps individuals recognize their influence and make more informed decisions by considering alternative perspectives and seeking objective evidence. Mitigating cognitive biases. Awareness of cognitive biases is the first step toward mitigating their impact. Techniques such as critical thinking, seeking diverse viewpoints, and employing structured decision-making processes can help counteract biases. Additionally, fostering a culture of feedback and reflection can aid in recognizing and addressing biases in personal and professional contexts. The role of cognitive biases in society. Cognitive biases not only affect individual decision-making but also have broader societal implications. They influence public opinion, political decisions, and media consumption. By understanding how biases shape collective perceptions, we can better address issues related to misinformation, polarization, and social dynamics. Conclusion. Cognitive biases play a crucial role in shaping our perception of reality, affecting how we process information, make decisions, and interpret events. While these biases are inherent in human thinking, recognizing and understanding them can help us make more informed and objective judgments. By addressing cognitive biases, individuals and societies can improve decision-making processes and foster a more accurate understanding of the world.